You want it to be one way.
What?
You want it to be one way.
Man, I don't
You
know
want it
what
to
you...
be one
Man,
way.
stop! Stop saying that.
But it's the other way.
They hate when you elevate.
What up, what up, what up, what up? What up, though? What up, what up, what up, A.T.P Combat Media? It's your boy Claymore Rain. Shout out to all my Claymore Rain subscribers. The army is formulating, coming together, and I'm really appreciating all the support. I'm really appreciative, you know, of all the feedback. Shout out to all you guys. Anybody who's hearing this for the first time, I invite you guys to feel free to subscribe. And just like everybody else here in the building, leave your comments, like, dislike, agree, disagree. We're here talking boxing, and we're getting down to the foundation of this thing. Legacy versus prize fighting. You know, money is always part of the conversation for the fighters, you know, but legacy of as a true fan, I was gonna say fanatic, as a true fan and enthusiast in this sport, and now becoming a true boxing pundit in the game. You know, we're concerned with legacy, and this fight this weekend is one of those legacy fights. You know, it's very similar to the last fight. As far as with David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade was concerned, legacy that seems to have gone into the shadows a little bit nowadays, and a lot of the fights that we want to see we can't see because quote unquote prize fighting or making money gets in the way of that. But this weekend, that's not what we're dealing with. Keeping up and following up and keeping you guys up to speed is what's been happening as a build up to this fight. We are about 2 days away. Right? Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So like 2.5 days. You could say 3 days if you wanted to say that. But away from seeing Devin Haney challenge Regis Prograis for the WBC junior welterweight or super lightweight, whatever you guys like to call it. I've been getting feedback on that too. No, it's not super lightweight. No, it's not junior welterweight. It's both, guys. But whatever you choose, I'll just say it like this. Challenging Regis Prograis for his 140-pound WBC title is coming together. The fighters are in the city. They've touched down. Regis Prograis has, you know, he's in his space. He seems real anxious and real ready to get this done with. He's left his phone, supposedly. Regis Prograis has left his phone with his manager since Monday. He's not taking phone calls. He's not following social media. He's letting nothing and eliminating all distractions that would take him away from what goal he has. Seems real anxious to put some hands on Devin, and Devin Haney himself seems focused. Let me tell you, Devin looks real refreshed and healthy. He doesn't look like he's having a hard time cutting weight. We would expect that. He says he feels stronger, faster than ever. And really looks kind of determined. It just looks like a different Devin Haney than we might have seen in the past. Bill Haney has gone on record, and he's out there speaking, obviously doing what he does, promoting his son, but letting it be known that Regis Prograis is definitely eligible to be stopped in this match coming up. Matter of fact, he said that with all the mayhem that Regis Prograis has been talking, he wants him to bring it. Make sure you don't run. Make sure you stay and fight. Now, I take that one of a few ways, but I'll say 2 ways. Number one, maybe Devin is ready to sit there and, you know, get inside of the stand inside of the paint and exchange and get into a firefight and really show Regis Prograis that he's the bigger, stronger fighter in this fight. But another part of it, you know, has me thinking that Bill Haney may be amping the Regis Prograis team up to amp Regis Prograis to maybe overextend himself to try to get Devin Haney in trouble, and therefore leaving opportunities for Devin Haney to counterpunch and take advantage of that. I feel like it's probably both, a little bit of both of those things, right? Because we know one thing's for sure, two things for certain right now at this moment is that Devin Haney doesn't. Do I want to say that? We don't know this for sure, right? But I would assume that Devin Haney doesn't want to be first. He doesn't plan on being first. I think he would rather not be first. How about that? He would rather not be first. Maybe if he's forced to be first, he would just do what he has to do because the pressure is on him. He cannot have a boring fight. The pressure is on him. He's talking pay-per-view. He's talking face of boxing talk. He's putting himself in the same conversations as the biggest faces in boxing today, and believes he can hold his own on any platform. So he has pressure on him to make this fight, whether Regis wants to make it or not, make this fight a fight to be remembered. It's probably the last big fight of the year, if I'm correct. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure. I feel like it's the last big fight of the year. So he's going to close out the year with either a foul taste in everybody's mouth about boxing, or he's going to put a great taste in their mouth, pause, on boxing, right? So Devin Haney looking very confident, looking refreshed, no excuses. Nobody looks injured. Everybody looks good to go and in great shape and in great spirits. Devin Haney is also sitting back and chilling. He's not really in the mix. He seems like he's doing the right thing, and Regis Prograis on the same mission. So I'm leaning still towards Devin, but at the same time, I can't lie to you. As we get closer, the thoughts are running through my mind. What is Devin Haney going to do? I mean, what are you guys thinking, right? Like, you guys aren't thinking about this, or are you just pretty confident that Devin Haney is going to do what he does? Control the distance, stay out the pocket, stay with that jab all night long and only take what's given to him? Or is he looking to dominate? Is he looking to really make that statement? He has us all juiced up. I'll tell you what, though, if this is a snooze fest, the way he's been promoting this fight, the way he's been speaking on this fight, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Devin Haney's next fight might be on the zone for free. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. He has to really, he has the pressure on him, but you guys let me know what you think. The fight is getting closer, and legacy is on the menu. It's not about money. Money is there, but this is about legacy. This is about Devin Haney pulling off and checking off another box on cementing himself as one of the greatest fighters to ever do it, challenging himself in a way that other fighters just won't challenge themselves. He's trying to separate himself from the pack by being one of those guys that those other guys aren't. And, let's segue into that. We're here. You got somewhere to go? All right, then. If you got nowhere to go, I've got nowhere to go. Let's talk about it. Legacy versus prize fighting. I'm always going to refer to back in the day with the forefathers of this sport, the foundational fathers of this sport. It can go from generation to generation, but I think my generation, we are going to tap in more into the Mike Tysons, the Holyfields, the Lennox Lewises, right? We go even a little further back. Let's go Roberto Duran, Leonard versus Hearns, Leonard versus Duran, right? Holyfield versus Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes versus Mike Tyson. We can go into those matches, right? Floyd Mayweather versus De La Hoya, right? Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. The big fights, Roy Jones versus Antonio Tarver, Roy Jones versus Carlos Ruiz, right? These fights that I'm talking about, these fighters that I'm mentioning, they were all on the same page when it came to legacy. Everybody wanted to get money, clearly. Everybody was, they're prize fighters first, That's what they come in the game to do, right? They come in for legacy and they come in for prize, for the money. But definitely legacy was a big part of the conversation. And it got to a point to where the more money they made, the more legacy driven they became, right? The more financially secure they became, the more financially free they became. That would be the better word to describe it. Financially free, the more financial freedom they were able to put together, the more legacy driven and determined to accomplish legacy things that were going to cement them into the books they became focused on. Well, today's fighter has become very prize fighter driven, and there's not a lot of fighters out there who are truly daring to be great. And we have to ask ourselves as fans, as the people who are paying for these pay-per-views, paying for these tickets, filling up these arenas, really giving these fighters the lifestyles that they fought to have. At what point are we going to hold the fighters accountable to give us the fights as fans we want to see? The fights that are the signature fights, I mean. At what point do we hold them accountable to making these signature fights happen? You look at Gervonta Tank Davis at this point, who is a great fighter. The eye test just won't lie to you. We know what we're looking at. But at the same time, also, does this absolve him of the responsibility just being accountable, holding him accountable to make certain fights happen, especially as the A side, as a person who determines when these fights happen. And, him accepting or passing on these fights, it's all on him, because these other fighters are never going to refuse fighting him. At a minimum, he's a cash cow. This is minus the fact of whether they think they can beat him or not. And I'm going to say if they're attempting to fight Gervonta, they think they can beat him. But outside of that ability to beat them or not, just for the monetary compensation that comes with that fight, we have to agree that that's what everybody's looking to do. So it's generally in his court to make these fights happen. And there's other fighters like Canelo Alvarez who falls underneath the same banner, right? You're pound for pound one of the best. You're the face of boxing. You're the cash cow. You're the one getting everybody paid. Anybody who fights you is probably making the biggest payday they ever made. So, heavy is the crown, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's up to you guys to ultimately to pull the trigger on these fights happening, to send these contracts out and to make these fights happen. But also at the same time, we want to see these fights happen in a fair way, right? Because I would think that in order for you to be great, it means that you've given the fighter across from you his best opportunity to be a complete fighter, so that you're fighting the best version of him, and balancing that as well as with the compensation, to making sure that they're being properly compensated. We missed out on years between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather with arguments over money and arguments over drug and dope testing. And ultimately, when they fought, I would say, from my perspective, I thought it was too late. Very boring fight, not a fight that I thought I would have seen if that fight would have happened about 5 years earlier than when it did happen. And what did us as the fans gain or lose? We already knew Floyd was who he was. We already knew who Manny was, but we walked away from that not knowing truly who was better than who, because we know that we didn't get the best versions of at least Manny Pacquiao, and probably not the best version of Floyd either. Let's be honest, with all the injuries and things that he was going through with his hands, we didn't get an opportunity to see the best Floyd Mayweather against the best Manny Pacquiao. So today we're faced with similar situations with Gervonta Tank Davis, with Canelo Alvarez, a lot of fighters. And when you look at somebody like Devin Haney, who's conquering a division, pulling the undisputed titles off from a division, vacating them because he's already accomplished everything he could in that division, going up to the next division and, challenging potentially one of the most dangerous, probably out of all the champions that are in that division, probably the most accomplished and one of the most dangerous in that division, arguably. And he's going for greatness. If he's able to do this, he becomes a 2-weight class division champion. And then he speaks into his next chapter, which is going to be going for more greatness by becoming a champion in the 147 welterweight division. Does that hold any weight? Wouldn't we as fans benefit if these fighters, the great fighters, were loyal to the belts? They were searching for undisputed, that they were fighting each other, having the best fights. Wouldn't we benefit? Would we not benefit from seeing that? That's my question. That is definitely my question. You guys let me know what you think about. At the end of the day, I know that we sit here and we can talk everything we want to talk about. We can be as motivated by and happy with Gervonta Tank Davis knocking out everybody he gets in the ring with and having all these stoppages, and that's great and that's must-see TV. But at what point do we request the fights that we want to see? At what point do these fighters owe us the accountability to give us the signature fights that we need to see so we can check the boxes? That's all I know. But until the next episode, it's your boy Claymore Rain. This is the ATP Combat Media Show. Thank you guys for coming out. Like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. But until the next episode, at this point, we are out of here.
You want it to be one way.
What?
You want it to be one way.
Man, I don't
want
know
it
what
to be
you...
one
Man,
way.
stop! Stop saying that.
But it's the other way.
They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly.